Welcome to day 12 of the 14-day growth challenge. Yesterday, I introduced you to Jack Canfield's equation for mastering the art of a growth mindset. E plus R equals O. I hope that as you've had time to consider the training, along with the three-step method that was inspired by Viktor Frankl, which is push pause, take ownership, and then make the change, you're understanding the profound power in becoming skillful at response focus. Today is actually a continuation of this topic, but we're going to take it a step further into what is called the deep dive reflection. It's simply known as a DDR. So let's get started. One of the greatest enemies of a man's life is the habit of drifting. Simply put, men are prone to drift in life. But before we move any further, let's define what we mean by habit, and then let's define what we mean by drifting. Now, habits, according to James Clear, who is the habit formation expert and best-selling author of the book Atomic Habits, he says that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. In the same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits actually multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and the years can be enormous. It is only when looking back 2, 5, or maybe even 10 years later that the value of good habits and the cost of bad habits becomes strikingly apparent. This is so true. It's the little commitments and agreements over time that matter. It's putting in the work consistently over a long period of time that moves a man from where he is to where he wants to be. So now let's define drifting. Simply put, drifting just means a digression from forward progress. Napoleon Hill, author of two of the most impactful books on personal growth, which is Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil, he defines drifting this way. He says, a drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances that are outside of his own mind. A drifter is one who accepts whatever life throws in his way without making protest or putting up a fight. He doesn't know what he really wants from life, and he spends all of his time getting just that, nothing. A drifter is one who is too lazy mentally to use his own brain. When a man drifts in one direction, he often drifts in all directions, making absolutely no progress in life. Drifting is the most common cause of failure in every aspect of a man's life. As we spoke about in yesterday's training, there are a wide variety of triggers that can set us off as men. There are 5 great enemies that typically influence the habit of drifting. There's fear, there's anger, there's pride, and then there's lust, and then there's laziness. Again, there's fear, anger, pride, lust, and laziness. Each of these emotions can cause what is known as hypnotic rhythm. So to keep this concept simple, I like to associate hypnotic rhythm to those small little whirlpools that we used to make as kids playing in those circular swimming pools. We would run in circles, getting the water moving so fast that when we put either like a little ducky or a little boat into the water, it would get stuck in the middle of the whirlpool, and it would just spin and spin in circles. The only way that you could actually get this little ducky or the little boat out of the swirling rhythm was by some type of intervention. You either had to stop the water from spinning, or you had to just reach in and you had to actually pull it out. This is exactly what happens in our mind when we get triggered through the various events that happen in our lives. The events create this rhythm, and this rhythm of open loops and stories that begin to attach themselves to emotions that drive our mind to a place that it gets stuck. So today's challenge is about harnessing the power of response-focused journaling. It's a process of working through 12 to 15 questions that help the process of pushing pause, taking ownership, and making change actually become second nature. It's a changing of our operating system. But I'll be honest with you, this is not easy. It's hard work in the beginning. It takes a commitment to regularly going into your sanctuary, working through the questions, and then addressing the facts and telling the truth. I find it fascinating that Jesus had a habit of saying, "Truly, truly, I tell you," before he began many of his teachings. Committing to telling the truth, confronting the truth, and living by the truth is what actually sets us free. This may not be easy, but I can tell you that it's absolutely worth it. Everything that it takes to be a powerful man, it's already in you. You just have to continue to pay the price that it takes to unlock that power. So now it's time to do the work and dive into today's challenge. I'm excited for your continued growth. Follow the steps below, and again, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Godspeed, my friend.